Allie Edwards, and I am here to give you a quick overview of a couple books that I read this month. Not as much as last month, but that's okay. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. This is a look at what I read for July 2018. One of the first books that I read is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I don't have that book. I think I already gave that one away, passed it on to someone else. That's the same author that wrote Final Girls. And I honestly can't remember a ton about that book because I'm not doing the video right after I read it. That's one of the reasons why I like to do that most of the time. My written review said, something quick, page turner, and super enjoyable. Put aside anything that seems not quite right, and just enjoy it for the fun read that it is. So I definitely enjoyed that one last month. But obviously if I can't even remember really what was happening in the book, it's probably not the most amazing book. But it was a suspense, something fun that I enjoyed reading. You're going to see a review in a few minutes here. That's for Something in the Water. I did do a review after I finished reading that one, so we'll have that at the end of the video here. The next book that I read was The Outsider by Stephen King, and I took off the cover, the book jacket, because it was freaking me out. This book as a whole did not freak me out, but the book jacket, I didn't have like having the book jacket laying next to my bed. So if you have never read Stephen King before, I am not a huge Stephen King connoisseur. I haven't read all of Stephen King's books. One of my favorite books by him is actually a book called On Writing, where he talks about the writing life and kind of his suggestions and tips for people that want to write. And that's a fantastic book if you're interested in that kind of thing. I saw this one come out and I just felt like, oh, that sounds interesting. I'm going to read it. And it was really interesting. It's a huge 600-page book. It took me quite a while to read it. I had a lot of other things going on this month too, so it was kind of fitting it in bits and pieces. I didn't find the book itself super scary, so I wasn't, freaking out. It wasn't giving me nightmares, those kinds of things. It definitely was interesting. I wanted to know what was going to happen, and in multiple conversations after finishing the book, definitely pieces of the story have stayed with me. So I like that kind of thing. So definitely something to check out if you've never read Stephen King before. He is definitely, I've seen some people comment about him being wordy. There's definitely a lot of words, but it's not. There's something different about it. It's just him. He's an icon in and of himself. So if you want to check one out, I think this is a decent one to read. The other thing that I've been reading this month that I haven't finished yet, so I'm not going to give my full review, but I'll give you a partial review, is The Glass Castle. And I know many people out there have read this one before. It's not a new book. When I was reading Educated earlier this year, people asked me if I had read The Glass Castle, which is also a family, kind of a poverty family memoir of growing up and what that was like, and with parents with different values, different, outside the mainstream, I would say is a good description of that. So I'm about halfway through that one. It's not a happy story. So, at least the parts that I'm reading now, definitely all kinds of different kinds of levels of abuse have popped up in the story already, but definitely from the perspective of just hearing from a different voice. And I just like reading memoirs in general. It's really good. And I know there's a movie out about it yet. I haven't seen that either. So that is a look. Those are the three books. And then you'll see, like I said, in a minute, for Something About the Water or Something in the Water, my review of that. I also got 3 books from Book of the Month for August. These are the ones that are available right now. These ones I got: The Dinner List, The Line That Held Us, and Sweet Little Lies. Sometimes I just get one from them. Sometimes I get multiples. This time I decided to get 3. So I will be adding those into what I am reading in August, along with finishing up The Glass Castle. Another thing that I have been reading this month is a very advanced version of a new book from my friend Lisa Leonard, who owns a fantastic jewelry company. She has written a memoir, and I believe, if I remember right, it's called Brave Love. And it's actually going to come out in January 2015, or 2015. I hope it doesn't come out in 2015, January 2019, and I'm reading it to write some sort of a review that will be inside the book, I believe, or used in some way or another. But that is also on my list for this month. So that is a quick look at kind of what's happening around here in terms of reading. And I hope to get back on in my regular process of trying to videotape these as soon as I finish so that I have more real-time reviews for you. But you're going to see my review for Something in the Water next, and then I will see you back here next month. Hey, it's Allie, and I just wanted to quickly jump on here because I just finished Something in the Water. This is my second book for this month. I read it very quickly, probably over a 2-day period. I thought it was great. I thought it was super entertaining. This is Sam. He's saying hi. I thought it was super entertaining. I read a lot of other reviews after. I don't read the reviews before I read them, before I read a book, but I do read them after. And there was a lot of people that were talking about how this is a great book if you love to hate the main character. The main character in this book is kind of dumb. Well, it's hard to tell whether, I couldn't tell for a while whether she was just not very smart or she was just an unreliable narrator, or she was playing at something by the way that she was acting. But it's a mystery. It's a whodunit, or how does this happen kind of thing. Great for a summer read. This was this was Reese Witherspoon's book club pick last month for June, and I had picked it up because of that. But like I said, I enjoyed it. It took me a couple days to read it, and I spent a lot of time just sitting outside, really enjoying it, and being excited to kind of plow through a quick entertaining read. So it looked like mixed reviews on this one from lots of other people, but I definitely enjoyed it. I think it's a great kind of summer, not have to think too hard, just that kind of a story. There you go.